Well, whoever invited the Braves to the pennant race apparently never told them they weren't supposed to stay. The Dodgers couldn't send them home, and neither could the Pittsburgh Pirates, even though the Bucks held a 3-2 advantage. And so the Braves' excellent adventure continued, and now it's the Twins, the Horatio Algers of the American League.
Pretty well hit. This ball is going to go.
Down 2-0, the hands of destiny picked up the chop.
Here comes Justice. Save! Here's the throw from Matt. Here's Lemke. He is save.
There was justice, but no mercy as the Braves swept 3. And now it's in Minnesota's hands. They've never lost a World Series game in the Metrodome, but if they lose tonight, it will be the Atlanta Braves, who will be known as world champions. Welcome back to the Midwest, where outside it feels like old man winter is knocking on our door, but let him knock, because there are some boys of summer who aren't ready to trade their baseball gloves for mittens just yet. And welcome back inside the Metrodome, where if you're a Minnesota Twin, the first things you do are kiss the artificial turf, wink at that Teflon ceiling, and rejoice that the only drums pounding are those inside your ears. Yes, folks, if you're a Twin, you click those cleats together and whisper, "There's no place like Dome. There's no place like Dome." So prop Toto up on your lap. Settle in for Game 6 of the World Series. Live from the Metrodome, it's the Atlanta Braves and the Minnesota Twins right here on CBS Sports. Hi again, everybody. I'm Pat O'Brien, joined again this evening by the distinguished ambassador from Chevis Ravine, Tommy Lasorda. Good evening, Tommy.
Good evening, Mr. O'Brien.
Tommy, as Yogi Berra once put it, this looks like deja vu all over again. Back in 1987, the Minnesota Twins won the first 2 World Series games at the Metrodome, lost 3 on the road at St. Louis, and then became the only team in World Series history to come back and win the final 2 at home. And can Minnesota win tonight and force a Game 7?
It can be done, Pat. I'll tell you why. They're coming home. This ballpark is going to play a vital role in tonight's game and possibly tomorrow's game. They believe they can win here. On the other hand, the Braves are flying high. After that run production they performed with Thursday night, they're going to be tough. They believe that they can win right here. It's got to be that the Twins believe this is their home ballpark and they can do it.
Makings of a good one, Tommy. If the Twins can't win 2 straight at home, Lonnie Smith stands to become the first player to win a World Series with 4 different teams. And earlier I asked his teammate Terry Pendleton if the Braves can win it here.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt we can. I feel like we have the ball club who can do it. I feel like we had the ball club in '87, but things didn't seem to work our way that year in '87. They played well here, and you have to credit them for that.
You don't feel like you have an extra game you can do it. You want to get it done tonight.
Oh yeah, we came here with one thing in mind. That's to win here tonight and go back home tomorrow morning.
You tired?
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
Sleep in November.
All right. I believe me, I'll be happy to do so.
In a crucial 1-game lead with 1, the Braves have Steve Avery tonight, and if necessary, John Smoltz tomorrow night. Atlanta has won the last 10 games that these pitchers have started. In warm-up, Smoltz, the right-hander, was wearing Avery's uniform. And last night, this was the real Steve Avery in civilian clothes as the 21-year-old, 21, from Taylor, Michigan, watched his home state Wolverines devour Minnesota. Tonight I spoke with him as he arrived.
Nervous? No, I'm ready.
These games get bigger and bigger, don't they?
It seems that way. You know, the last 3 have been the biggest ones of my life, and this one's no different.
Feel good?
Feel great.
Well, the Twins are resting their hopes on the right arm. That was his left, of Scott Erickson, who will be pitching on 3 days rest for the first time in his major league career. And I asked Twins manager Tom Kelly about his struggling ace.
Well, everybody tells me it's a go, and Scotty let the ball go tonight. We'll be all right, but we're not going to fool around too much if things don't go well. We're not even thinking about that, so again, we're planning on Scotty giving us a good, solid 6-7 innings, and we'll go from there.
Has he lost velocity over the last few weeks, do you think?
Last week, he didn't throw the ball at all. Game 3 of the World Series, he didn't throw the ball. You could see the ball coming out of his hand, just didn't throw the baseball. I don't know why. But tonight, if he continues that same pattern, well, he won't be in there too long.
Had a former pitcher here. What's the key to Ericsson's effectiveness?
He must get ground ball outs. He's pitching on 3 days rest. It may take something away from his velocity, but on the other side of the coin, it should help the movement of the baseball. If he sinks the ball, he'll throw a lot of ground balls. The fans in the stands, or the ones watching this game at home, can tell right away whether he's pitching his game.
Some lineup changes, Tommy, to pass along for the Twins. Shane Mack moves back into right field. He is 0 for the series and was benched in Game 5. Chili Davis will be the designated hitter again. There's Chili. And Junior Ortiz, Scott Ericsson's designated catcher, will be in there tonight, too. For the Braves, Brian Hunter returns to the lineup. They call him Big Game. He'll start in left, while Lonnie Smith assumes the DH role. And speaking of changes and adjustments, here's how the Metrodome ground crew spent its Friday night. Their mission, transform a football field into a baseball diamond. Nice and relaxing, huh? When we come back here, a visit with some very special fans as we roll on from the land of 10,000 lakes here on CBS. Stay with us.
CBS Sports coverage of Game 6 of the 1991 World Series is brought to you by Hyundai. Yes, Hyundai, makers of the Excel, Scoop, Sonata, and the brand new Elantra. And by today's Duracell, the copper top battery.
Hopefully you've gathered with family and friends to soak up baseball's biggest games. Well, now let us turn our thoughts for a moment to those not so fortunate. And so tonight, while people inside this dome are wishing and hoping the Twins will win, people in Children's Hospital outside the dome are just wishing and hoping.
There you go, buddy. There you go. That was a catch, Tommy.
All right.
All right. Right now, hold your head back like this and say, I love the Dodgers. All right. Okay, now you made me feel better.
What? I love the Twins.
All right.
And what's your favorite team?
Twins.
Why do you like the Twins?
I love that.
They might be at the World Series today.
Okay, do you think they're going to win tonight?
Yeah.
Ojos muy hermoso, Daniel.
Heidi, your last name is what?
Herbeck.
Herbeck. Do you have a message for Kent Herbeck?
Herbeck's never give up.
Herbeck's never give up.
One twin?
You want the Twins to win, don't you? Huh? You want the Twins to win? Michael, it won't be long. You'll be running up and down these halls, Michael.
Right.
People will be chasing you. You know that? Can I have a hug from you, Chandra?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, you are so beautiful. Oh.
Knock, knock. Cows go. Cows don't go who. Cows go moo. You know, this is the World Series, but that is the real world. Commercial. Folks inside the Metrodome getting ready for Game 6 of the 1991 World Series. Won't be long now. And you know, we've all been traveling together as a family for over a week now. And once again, it's time to turn things over to my brothers in the booth, Jack Buck and Tim McCarver. Good evening, Mr. Buck.
I don't know if Tim and I are going to accept that, accepting him as a brother. This is really something here, folks, and it's the first time, Tim McCarver, that the Twins have been under the gun. They won their division handily. They got out in front of Toronto. They took care of the Blue Jays. They got out in front of Atlanta, but they have let it slip away almost with 3 losses down in Georgia.
And I think a lot of Twins fans and even the Twins themselves keep relying on the 1987 season. Well, the conditions are the same, but the circumstances have changed. Back in 1987, John Tudor and Joe McGrain pitched Games 6 and 7, and tonight and tomorrow night, if necessary, if the Twins are to win, they're going to have to face Steve Avery and John Smoltz. And those 2 pitchers, with them pitching, the Braves have won 10 in a row.
You know, Tim and I were both here in '87, and the Cardinals weren't up to full speed. Jack Clark was out of the starting lineup. Perry Pendleton was hurt. You're right, Tim. It's like they expect the Dome to beat Steve Avery.
It's almost like this is their magic kingdom, and Scott Erickson's got to work that magic tonight. He didn't do that in Game 3. He was banged around pretty well by the Braves.
We'll return to the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome after this message and a word from your local station.
We aren't the only ones.
Game 6, and let's take another look at the inside picture at the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome. Things are perking right along, and for more pregame activities, let's join the Twins public address announcer, Bob Casey.
Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America at this time, we invite you to stand as the POW MIA Color Guard presents our nation's colors. And now continue standing as the Atlantic recording star, Melissa Manchester, will lead us in our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ran there, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
We're closer to the first pitch of Game 6, and we'll be back here at the Metrodome in just a moment.
CBS Sports coverage of Game 6 of the 1991 World Series is brought to you by Chevrolet, the heartbeat of America, the cars more people depend on. The people at Nike who encourage you to just do it. And by Magnavox, smart choices for smart people. The ingenious products from Magnavox. They're smart, very smart.
We're at the Metrodome, and the first pitch is just moments away. Very shortly, the Twins will be taking the field. Moments ago, a wonderful gentleman and a fellow with a great player, Tony Oliva, delivered the ceremonial first pitch. He is from Pinar del Rio, Cuba, and he batted .304 during his career, hit 220 home runs. Those are certainly Hall of Fame credentials. Apparently, Tony will not be coaching with the Twins next year, but will remain in their organization. Very shortly, you will watch those Homer hankies, and you will hear the noise that goes with it. Let's join the other member of our telecasting crew, Jim Cott.
All right, thank you, Jack. About the only thing these two pitchers have in common tonight, they're young and they've been successful. That's where it ends. Steve Avery has really had his act together the last 6 weeks. Braves expect him to win games like this. Scott Erickson, on the other hand, is a different story. He hasn't been the same pitcher the last half of the season. Let's go back to Game 3 and take a look at a couple of pitches. The first one to David Justice, up in the strike zone, home run. Follows that with one to Lonnie Smith, up in the strike zone. That's a home run. Now, let's go back to May 7th when Scott Erickson, in the midst of a 12-game winning streak, threw the kind of pitches the Twins are looking for tonight. Sinking fastball, strikes out Tony Pena. Comes back against Jack Clark with that nasty slider for a strikeout. That's the kind of pitches the Twins are hoping that Scott Erickson has taken across the foul lines in tonight's game. We'll be able to tell early on whether the speed is there and whether the movement on that sinking fastball is there. Back to Jack and Tim.
That's what both Jim Cott and Tom Lasorda say. You'll be able to indicate early whether Scott Erickson has his good stuff by the location of his pitches. Here's the starting lineup for the Atlanta Braves. They're on top 3-2. The designated hitter is Lonnie Smith, Terry Pendleton at third, Ron Gannon center, David Justice in right, Sid Bream at first base, Brian Hunter playing left field, Greg Olson has caught every game, Mark Lemke is at second base, Rafael Belliard at short, and Steve Avery will do the pitching for the Braves.
Defensively for the Twins, Dan Gladden in left field, Kirby Puckett will be the center fielder, Shane Mack in right field, Scott Leyes at third base, Greg Gagne at shortstop, Chuck Knobloch the second baseman, Ken Herbeck at first, and Junior Ortiz behind the plate.
First pitch. Up and into the fearless Lonnie Smith, who crowds that plate. He's had 4 hits in the series, and 3 of them have been home runs. And they took a vicious whack at that one, and it's 1-1. Smith, Pendleton, and Gant here in the first. Looked like it went over his head, didn't it?
Or between the head and the helmet. How did Lonnie Smith, who was hit 9 times during the season, avoid this ball? Wow.
Looks like he had that measured. And he hits it to third, and Leyes boots it, grabs it, and throws, and he got him. That's the way this one starts as we meet this evening's umpire. Ed Montague of the National League is at the plate. And Don Denkinger at first, Harry Wendelstedt at second, Drew Coble umpiring at third, Terry Tata in left field, and Rick Reed in right field. And this is Terry Pendleton. He is 6 out of 20 with 1 home run in this series. Back in '87, he was only a DH. He had a hamstring injury which kept him from playing in the field, and there's a strike.
Terry Pendleton's got to be thinking, what do you have to do to win here? The Cardinals lost 4 games here at the Metrodome in '87 and the first 2 this year.
1 ball, 1 strike. So that amounts to 6 wins at home in series play for the Twins. That's a hit for Pendleton. 1 on, 1 out. Seventh hit of the series for Pendleton, so that figure's getting up there. Third base coach is Jim Williams for the Braves. And Pat Corrales, former big league manager, as Williams was, is coaching at first. Herbeck will hold against the runner. Pendleton had a bad knee, a bad arch. But we did see him do some running the other night down at Fulton County Stadium. Ronnie Gant has 8 hits. in this series. No home runs. If you've been following the postseason closely, you're aware of the fact that Gant's a pull hitter. He takes a strike, and it's 1-1. Braves people telling us they like to do the running if they get a chance to do so. Eugenio Ortiz looking over into the dugout. That ball's foul past third. 1-2. Let's go down to Jim Kaat.
Well, there's no question. We don't know what the results will be tonight, but there's no question that Scott Erickson is throwing the ball harder, and he's got more movement than he did in Game 3. A little closer to the kind of pitcher the Twins have been looking for.
You've heard of up and down seasons. Well, with Erickson, it's been down and up. He was down in the first half, up in the second half.
Low to Gant, 2-2.
One thing Tom Kelly wants out of Erickson is to throw the ball. He said that Scott Erickson hasn't been the same pitcher in postseason play. This is only, by the way, his third start in the last 20 days.
He's had some idle time. 1 on, 1 out. And another foul past Scott Leas. Bobby Cox giving the signs from the dugout. Relayed by Jim Williams. Observed by Pendleton. Not much Gant can do with a 2-2 count.
Not as, no, I don't think you'd put the take sign on.
Junior Ortiz is the catcher whenever Erickson pitches. Pendleton not going, and a little nubber. The runner advances. Herbeck tags the batter, 2 out. $55,000 plus here in the park. And the Twins deal with David Justice. He's had a half a dozen hits, including 2 home runs against the Twins. First inning, Pendleton at second, 2 out.
David Justice, 25 years old. As a matter of fact, he was born 2 days after the Atlanta Braves played their first game at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, April 14th, 1966.
And he'll be there for a while, as good as he is. There for a while, Atlanta was forced to play him at first base. He didn't really start to thrive until he moved to the outfield.
When Dale Murphy was traded to the Phillies.
That evens it up, 2-2. And the Minnesota crowd wants the inning to come to a close with the next pitch. Steve Avery is waiting for the home half of the inning. There's lots of hitting room up the middle with the second baseman Knobloch backed into the outfield. They're trying to keep this run from scoring, but there's a world of hitting room for Justice. Three and 2. 2 on, 2 out. That's one thing about Erickson in the postseason, Tim, even though he's only made 2 starts. He has walked more than he ordinarily does. Looks like he was being very careful with Justice, with Bream coming up next.
And throwing the breaking ball on that 3-2 count. You did have first base open, but having first base open and pitching around hitters early in the game is a very dangerous formula. Because if you get too many on and then you get the long ball, then you have multiple run innings.
Strike to Sid Bream on a hard delivery. Sid hasn't done much. He's 2 out of 16. No home runs, no RBIs, and he could put Atlanta on top in the first.
That was a changeup from Scott Erickson. He did not change speeds too often in game 3. I think as much as anything, he looks like he's much more confident starting this game than he was down in Atlanta.
Appears to be very determined. Sid got a piece of it, and it's still 0-2. Single by Pendleton and 2-out walk. So Pendleton's down at second, and David Justice at first. One and 2. Brian Hunter up next. 2 and 2. 2 on, 2 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. First inning, no score. Three and 2. 3 and 2, and the runners will take off with the delivery. There they go. There it is into the left field corner, chased by Gladden, and he's got it. Atlanta leaves 2. No score first inning as Atlanta left 2. And the Braves send the remarkable young hurler out to the mound. Steve Avery looking for his first World Series win. Here's the starting lineup for the Twins. Dan Gladden in left. Chuck Knobloch at second. Kirby Puckett in center field. Chili Davis is the DH. Shane Mack in right field looking for his first hit. Scott Leyes at third. Kent Hrbek at first base. Junior Ortiz catching, Greg Gagne at short, and you just saw Scott Erickson pitch the first.
The defense for the Atlanta Braves, Brian Hunter in left field, Ron Gant the center fielder, David Justice in right, Terry Pendleton at third base, Rafael Belliard the shortstop, Mark Lemke at second base, and Sid Bream at first. Behind the plate, native Minnesotan, Greg Olson.
We've heard some noise during this World Series with the good folks down in Atlanta with the chop and the folks up here waving the hankies. Gladden leads it off. 4 for 21. Avery pumps the striker there. The third base coach is Ron Gardenhire, and across the way it's Wayne Terwilliger. Gladden, Knobloch, and Puckett in the Twins first.
All good pitchers like to work quickly, and Steve Avery and Scott Erickson, no exceptions. Both like to work very fast.
To the shortstop, Belliard.
Only 2 pitchers in the history of Major League Baseball have won as many games as Steve Avery at that young an age. Left-handed starters. Babe Ruth did it when he was 20 years old back in 1915. And Johnny Lush did it. He won 20. left-handed starters. 2 1-0 games in the playoffs also for Avery.
Knobloch has a half dozen hits, ball 1 to him. Six hits and 4 walks in the series for the fellow who's apparently going to be the Rookie of the Year in the American League. 1-1. Avery started the game, which Jim Clancy won. It went 12 innings. Atlanta won it 5-4.
In that game, he gave up a tainted triple in the first inning, a ball misplayed by right fielder David Justice. Then he gave up a home run to Kirby Puckett and an unearned run in the 7th inning.
Here's a fellow who has a leg up on the MVP for the World Series, depending on what happens tonight and perhaps tomorrow. Base hit for Knobloch.
The Atlanta Braves are going to have to see the game because you can't hear a game in this ballpark. Knobloch now 7 for 18 in the World Series.
And he had 7 hits against Toronto. And he has stolen 4 bases against Atlanta. The batter is Kirby Puckett. He's been cold, cold, cold. 3 out of 18. With one of the hits a home run.
That's what the Twins need. They need production from their outfielders. Coming into this game, Shane Mack, Kirby Puckett, Dan Gladden, Chili Davis started the other night. 8 for 59, a 136 average from the outfielders of the Minnesota Twins.
That's fair. He's going to score. Puckett for third.
There were 5 triples in Thursday night's game, and the first triple of this game by Kirby Puckett. Watch Hunter go toward the line. Knobloch's going to score easily. Hunter toward the line. He's expecting the carom, and I think the ball got hung up on the screen in foul territory in left field, and that's why Kirby goes into third base, and the Twins take the lead.
Now the infield comes in with Puckett at third and 1 out. And the designated hitter, Chili Davis, batting. Well, the Pirates went 2 games without getting a run against Avery. Twins score in the first. And a runner at third, 1 out.
Twins scored in the first inning last Tuesday against Steve Avery.
Davis, 3 out of 10. 2 of the 3 hits, home runs.
Here's that carom we were talking about. Watch Brian Hunter go toward the line. He thinks the ball's going to carom back to him. It didn't hit the screen. It hit that middle post. And the Twins get a break as Puckett goes into third base. Otherwise, it's just a double with the run score.
Kind of looked like the run would have scored. You're right, Tim, whether it was a double or a triple, but there's Puckett at third. And on the corner to Chili. 2-1. field and foul, chased by Justice, nothing doing.
Everybody talks about how baseball is a game of first. If you do the first thing successfully, you usually win. Well, not according to this series so far. The Twins have been out in front. They have scored the first run in 5 of 6 games, and they trail 3 games to 2.
Now, with Tom Kelly looking on and Bobby Cox already trailing. Chili Davis gets back in. He wants a fly ball, and Avery wants a strikeout. Three and 2. Kirby Puckett resides at third with 1 out.
Hoping it's a mobile home.
There's the fly ball. We're going to have a play, perhaps. Puckett stays at third, 2 out. Here, because of that friendly curtain in right field, the right fielder is able to place shallow to start with. And then that fly ball was not deep enough. Justice came in and made an easy play for the second out. Well, of all people, who's up there now for the Twins? Shane Mack. 0 for 15 in the series. 0 for his last 2 at-bats against Toronto in the championship series. So he's 0 for his last 17.
Ken Herbeck 3 for 19. Now Kirby Puckett 4 for 19. Gagne 3 for 18. And Gladden batting 182.
Mack was a .310 hitter during the season with 18 home runs. Runner at third, 2 out. Are we ever in a slump of this magnitude?
Oh,
Mr.
absolutely,
McCarver?
absolutely. But the thing that I think that the players try to do, you try as much as you can to make it a regular season game. But because of its importance, you can't trick your mind that much.
There's a hit. 2-0, Minnesota.
What's that song? Look out, old Mackey's back. As Mack the knifes one into left field. His first hit of the series and a big one. The Twins take a 2-0 lead.
So he picked up Chili Davis, who left the runner at third. And a 2-out chance for the Twins to get more with Scott Leyes batting. During the season, Mack stole 13.
Remember, in the earlier game, Kirby Puckett hit into a double play, breaking a bat that went down and almost hit Dan Gladden, and that bat almost hit Kirby Puckett.
Ball 1 to Leyes, who is 3 out of 11 with 1 home run.
I've never met a hitter that wouldn't trade a bat for a hit. There are a lot of bats. There aren't a lot of hits, however.
Three hits in the inning for the Twins. That ball might drop. First and third, 2 out. Another hit.
To stun Avery, because that's exactly what the Twins have done early tonight. They have stunned Avery's fastball. This ball is not hit well. Looked like a trademark shot. Hunter respecting the power of Leyes.
And you can't get too close to a ball on this spongy turf here at the Metrodome. Kent Hrbek will determine if the Twins are going to get any more. He's 3 out of 19 with 1 home run. And Avery continues to get ahead of most of the hitters. Here's Jim Cott.
Well, that's the first curveball that Steve Avery has thrown in the strike zone. And as is customary, try to get through the first inning with mostly fastballs. And that's what he's throwing.
Strike 2, another fastball. This is as many hits as the Twins had in 7 innings against Avery. The game number 3. First and third, 2 out. Bream scoops it. The Twins score 2. They leave 2. And they lead by 2. Nice cool evening in the Twin Cities of Minneapolis, St. Paul. And we're at the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome. The Braves left 2 in the first and have Brian Hunter leading off in the second as they trail 2-0. Scott Erickson, the pitcher for the Twins. Hunter 3 for 12 with a home run. And into the glove of Leyes. Remember the ball that Bream hit to end the first. That was a line drive.
Gladden caught up with that one, and Leyes jumps up for this one. You notice how he timed his jump? He tried not to jump too quickly. Watch. He set before he jumped. Nice play, Leyes.
And Greg Olson bats with 1 out in the second. Looking for his 7th hit. There, Brian Hunter hitting into bad luck.
Talked about Scott Erickson, only his 3rd start in the last 20 days. Sinker ball pitchers do not like to be too strong. They have a tendency to get it up when they are. You often see a sinker ball pitcher that may have trouble in the early innings. The more fatigued he becomes, the more effective he becomes. Keeps the ball down in the strike zone.
Leyes lets the foul ball go by. 2-2.
Stands to reason that sinker ball pitchers are much more adaptable to 4-man rotations because they have that rhythm. High ball pitchers like Avery need the extra day's rest, but Erickson doesn't. He relies on that heavy sinker, as Jim Cott said, keeping the ball down primarily.
Gagne cuts it loose. 2 out. He's got a shortstop's arm, Tim. He just lets her fly, doesn't he?
That's an interesting comment. A shortstop's arm, especially on AstroTurf. He can afford to play deep and cut off a lot of balls that a lot of shortstops can't get to. See that little crow hop that he takes? He readies himself, but he does have an awfully strong arm, especially on balls where he has to go to his right.
With the bases empty, the remarkable Lemke. Lemke has had 7 hits, a couple of walks, 4 runs batted in, and very timely play against the Twins. 1-1. Leyes about 2 steps behind the base, and go ahead and bunt if you want. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 55,000 here at the Metrodome in Minneapolis. Atlanta batting in the second. They left 2 in the first. The Twins scored a couple. They had 4 base hits. And they left a couple in the first. 3-2. Lemke batting 8th. And another hit for the remarkable Lemke, his 8th of the series. Same number as Ron Gant. That's tops for both clubs.
And you look at the stature of Mark Lemke and you think, well, he's a little man. Obviously, he's little as far as his height is concerned, but he's a strong guy. He had 54 home runs in the minor leagues, 1986, 7, and 8. His highest being 20 home runs. So he's a guy who puts the ball in play with some authority. 3 triples in this series. He had 2 the other night.
Belliard is up. Strike to him. In at the knees, meaning it was about 3 inches off the ground. Lemke has had 7 out of his last 10. We talk about hot. He's at first with 2 gone. 2 on Raphael. Well, Tim, both Jim Cott and Tom Lasorda said we'd be able to tell early about Erickson. What do you think?
Well,
too
early for me to tell. I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with Kitty. It seems to me that he's getting his balls up a little too much.
That's in the strike zone and takes care of Belliard. First strikeout for Erickson. 3 left for the Braves, who trail by 2.
And photos of the Fall Classic, this program is truly a collector's item. Get your souvenir scorebook by sending $7.50 and check or money order to World Series Program, Box 91, Trenton, New Jersey 08651. That's Box 91, Trenton, New Jersey 08651. Be sure to include your return address.
The preceding message was furnished by Major League Baseball.
Twins got 2 in the first, and they're on top as they send up their number 8 hitter to start it off against Avery. Junior Ortiz. Scooped by Pendleton. He caught it in the air. Line drive to third base. But Pendleton didn't umpire. He just went ahead and threw the ball.
Looked to me like that was a short hop right there. You know, it was called a catch by Drew Coble, the third base umpire.
I thought it hit the deck.
It looked like it, of course, with the naked eye. Yeah, it did. That's clearly a short hop. That ball didn't even come close to being caught in the air. Look at that. That ball's 2 feet away from it.
That's
and
why.
and Drew Coble standing right there. I mean, it didn't turn into any big play. I mean, Pendleton went ahead and threw it, and that's why he threw it. I mean, that ball's 2 feet away from it.
Here's Gagne, the number 9 hitter. Out of play. Gagne 3 out of 18. Way to play like that in the National League Championship Series. This kid doesn't want all that noise. He got the ears plugged.
Huh?
What? Another play for Pendleton. And 2 out. Noise is a problem. We talked to the first base umpire, Don Denkinger, about dealing with the noise.
Well, what I'm going to have to do first is to talk myself into staying back as far as I can and to get it all in my peripheral vision. And that's a difficult thing because I'm not used to calling plays at first base that far back. And we discuss it as a crew that in these series where you have a lot of crowd noise, you just have to work a little bit differently, and that's what makes it very difficult for all of us.
So he's pretty far away from first base with 2 out. Gladden hits one to short. Belliard guns him down, and after 2-0 Twins.
Braun Electric Shavers, Braun, designed to perform better. And by Bud Light, everything else is just a light.
And here we go into the third inning of Game 6, 2-0 Twins. And Lonnie Smith bats for the second time tonight. That hit him. He likes it. He goes to first base to start the third. He's like a pincushion.
Yeah, he's right on top of the plate. He was hit once in the League Championship Series, now once here in the World Series. You remember Scott Erickson almost hit Lonnie the first time with a breaking ball, and this one clearly right in the hip. Talking about Don Denkinger, when he talked about moving back from the bag and that peripheral vision that he was talking about, by moving back from the bag, you can see the runner, the ball, and the bag. Umpires don't normally do that. They stand close to the bag so they can hear the ball hit the glove and the foot hit the bag. But in this noise, they can't do that. That's why he's back.
Pendleton is up. Single his first time. Takes a ball. And Ortiz missed it.
I thought he was going to stand back. He was right on top of that play. Yeah, of course, this is a tag play right here. Matter of fact, Richie Garcia gets credit for that. But that's a tag play, so Richie says he's motioning to me. On tag plays, you don't need to hear sound. Good point. Lonnie just back in ahead of the tag.
Lonnie's a player they call skates. He has difficulty keeping his feet sometimes out there. He just did get back ahead of the tag by Herbeck, who didn't argue, and the pictures vindicated the man in blue. Ball 2 to Pendleton. The Braves have already stranded 3. And they trail 2-0. Play, and it's 2-1. Now trailing by a couple might slow down the Braves with regard to stealing bases.
Well, I think that's one of the things that's changed in the game, Jack. Teams properly don't allow the score anymore unless it's way out of hand. They don't allow the score to prevent them from using the running game. I think that's changed for the better in the game. It used to be 20 years ago. If you're down by 2 runs or more, you let the hitter hit. And Junior Ortiz right there trying to get Scott Erickson to think, pointing to his head.
He's thinking about keeping that runner close. Leadoff man is on for the Braves in the third.
Junior Ortiz, you saw him shaking his head no. When a catcher does that, he wants the pitcher to shake his head no, and that gets the hitter to think about something. But he went ahead and put the one down, the one finger down, and threw the fastball. Fastball away.
And it stays the same on Pendleton.
Junior Ortiz has caught Scott Erickson this year most of the time. As a matter of fact, during the season, 32 starts for Erickson, and Ortiz was behind the plate 28 times.
Into left field. That might be tough to catch. It is a foul ball.
Jimmy Williams, the third base coach, went down past the bag. Bobby Cox is out now. And Jimmy Williams was ready to wave Lonnie Smith home, thinking the ball was fair. Left field umpire Terry Tata. And we'll take another look at it. A ball hit to left field by a left-handed batter will slice away from the left fielder. That was a foul ball by about 6 inches. Good call by Terry Tata.
That's the sort of play where if you didn't have the extra umpires, you might have a problem.
That shot, it was a little vague, but that first shot, you could see just at the last minute, right here. Watch the ball, down the line, right there, about 6 inches foul. Good call by Terry Tata.
2-2 to Pendleton. They get one, that's all. So Pendleton, after narrowly missing an extra base hit, reaches on a fielder's choice with 1 out.
A breaking ball, and Pendleton swinging at that ball like it was a shovel. He just kind of, it's almost as though the bat swung him. Watch Herbeck throw to Gagne at short, making sure of the lead runner, and then the return throw not in time, primarily because of Lonnie Smith going in hard at second base.
He ends up out in center field. Gant is up. Ron Gant grounded to first his first time. He's 8 out of 22 and looking for his first series home run. He corks it to left center and chased by Puckett. He caught it. That fence is 13 feet high.
And it's plexiglass. And watch Kirby climb the plexiglass to rob Ron Gant of an extra base hit. Wow.
That's as high as he could have gone. The crowd here watches a replay on the video board.
And now Erickson gets over to first base because Terry Pendleton had rounded the bag, and that's the proper thing to do. So no double play, but a brilliant play by Kirby Puckett. Watch him time the jump.
Tim, they're going to make an appeal at second.
And a great play by Puckett.
Now time had been called. Now time back in.
Yeah, Erickson will toe the rubber and then step off the rubber and then throw the ball to second base because it technically time's out right now.
No.
Well, no appeal.
Sometimes they even ask the umpire down there. The umpire in this case, Harry Wendelstedt, and they say, don't waste your time. And they were talking to the umpire at second base. In any event, Pendleton's at first with 2 out. Justice, who walked, takes ball 2. So things aren't going Atlanta's way. Pendleton with that fly ball into left that just missed. And Puckett plucking one off the plexiglass.
Try saying that fast.
No, no. Ball 3, and he's probably swinging.
Try saying it slow. Puckett plucks the... you got me on that. I didn't know.
Puckett plucks the pelota off the plexiglass. 2-0 Twins, top of the third. Swinging on 3-0. That was a fair ball, and the inning is over. Justice thought it was foul. Now the Braves have left 4. We'll return to the Metrodome after this message.
And it was a good one.
Umpires have been involved in this one, and now here we go into the home half of the third inning.
Here's Mike Heath. I hope he's going to be home by Halloween, which is next Thursday, right?
Kendall is 3 years old. Well, the Braves will either be home tomorrow or Monday. 1-1. This fella at the plate now, Chuck Knobloch, has a hit, has 7 hits, and he is a troublesome sort, isn't he?
It certainly is. Had a fine series so far.
2-1 from Avery.
The interesting thing about Knobloch is not necessarily his ability, but how unfazed he is in postseason play. You mentioned his 7 hits in the League Championship Series, 8 hits in the World Series.
That ball is foul.
Just another day at the office.
Well, tomorrow, another NFL Sunday on CBS, and look at the big one. Most of you folks will be watching the Bears as they travel to the Superdome to take on the undefeated Saints. The other games, San Francisco at Philly, the Rams at Atlanta, Green Bay at Tampa Bay. And at 4 o'clock Eastern, Dallas against Detroit, Minnesota. Vikings travel down to Phoenix. All starts with the NFL today at 12:30 Eastern tomorrow. There's Greg Gumbel and his crew. 2-2 to Knobloch leading off. He singled in the first and scored. That's about the 3rd time we've seen the Twins batters have done that, stepped out on Avery.
I think what Greg Olson is doing right there, he's clearing off the plate so the umpire can see the black of the plate. The black technically not part of the plate.
Now blocked to Belliard. That starts the home half of the 3rd inning.
But what catchers try to do, they try to keep those corners clear. They're almost like truant officers. Keep the corners clear. And there are those corners. You don't want the mud or dirt to be on the corners because often good pitchers work in those areas.
Kirby Puckett delivered an RBI triple in the first and then scored on a 2-out single by Shane Mack. Wynn scored 2, left 2 in the first, but now Avery has retired 5 in a row. Good rip by Puckett, 1 ball, 2 strikes. American League President Bobby Brown talking with the commissioner, Fay Vincent. And Dr. Brown is looking for a 7th game. Bill White, the president of the National League, wants it to end tonight. Puckett goes down on a change of pace. 6 in a row by Avery. Let's go down to Jim Cott.
Boy, is this guy fun to watch pitch, Jack. And Tim talked about the first inning, the 90-mile-an-hour fastball, but after Knobloch and Puckett had good swings at him, he is all of a sudden getting that change and curve and blending it in. So they can't just sit on one pitch. This guy's got 3 of them, and all good ones.
Leo Mazzoni, the pitching coach, Kitty, told me that instead of fastball, curveball, changeup, in the order of quality, Avery throws fastball, changeup, curveball. His changeup is his 2nd best pitch.
Chili Davis now. The strikeout of Puckett was the first for Avery. Leo Mazzoni, 23 years in the minor leagues. Finally got a shot at it this year with the Braves. He tutored a lot of these young players in the minors. And he's made his presence felt. He's looking forward to the World Series check.
No, win or lose.
Win or lose.
A disciple of Johnny Sain. And Jim Cott, also a disciple of Johnny Sain. Johnny Sain, Kitty's pitching coach with the Chicago White Sox in the middle 70s. But Mazzoni with a lot of theories that Johnny Sain espouses. One, working quickly.
Out of play. 2-1 to Chile.
Boy, just the subtle part of Steve Avery's game as a pitcher. He's got about a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, but Chili Davis, a notorious off-speed hitter. What does Avery do? He jacks it up about 2 miles an hour when Davis gets to the plate. Just a little bit extra.
Count 2-2. Crowd behind home plate didn't think so, and I wonder what Chile thought. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, agreement's not part of the equation.
Agreement's not part of the agreement. 6 in a row set down by Steve Avery. Chased by Justice. He's there. Now we've played 3, and it's 2-0 Twins. And the Twins hurl it.
Saw the feet digging in. You see that pitcher's toe right there. That's an extra piece of leather that right-handed pitchers put on their right shoe, and that prevents premature wear on that shoe. But it looks like he's worn those shoes for a while.
Here's the strike to Brian Hunter. Hunter lined out to Leyes at third. Back in the second. Up the corner. Two.
Greg Gagne, the shortstop, open mouth, closed mouth. That means Knobloch's covering if the runner goes.
Right at Gagne. And Green back to first with 1 out, and the Braves have hit 4 line drives that have been caught. Not their night to this point.
That's right, Jack. They're hitting an awful lot of balls hard. Fortunately for Erickson, they've been at people.
Let's go down to Jim Cott.
That's a good point. You know, even though the Braves aren't on the board, they are really making Erickson work. His pitch count up to about 60 already. And you can tell just a little subtle loss in that bite and speed on the sinker.
Olsen now. Foul ball.
It's doubtful that Sid Bream will be running, but if he is, Greg Gagne, the shortstop, if he opens his mouth behind the glove, of course, you don't want the hitter to know who's covering. And that means Knobloch, ooh, or you would be covering. Closed mouth is me, meaning, I got it. So open mouth, the other guy's got it. So Knobloch's covering if Bream runs. There's the shortstop, Gagne. He watches the sign that the catcher puts down. If it's a sinker away, a ball that's more apt to be hit to the right side, then he would give Knobloch a closed mouth, or me, I got it. This is going to be a breaking ball away. Knobloch covers.
And Erickson throws the breaking ball in for strike 2, 1-2.
The reason that Knobloch would be covering is that a breaking ball is more apt to be pulled than a fastball away. That's the reasoning behind all that. Knobloch again.
That's the second strikeout for Erickson. Well, how much more production are the Braves going to get from Mark Lemke? He singled his first time up. He's had 7 out of his last 10. He's had 8 hits in the series, plus a couple of walks. 70 pitches already for Erickson. Ball 2. Atlanta's already left 4 runners. Put the leadoff man on. He's there with 2 out.
Seems to me that all Tom Kelly wants out of Erickson is about 5 or 6 innings. He has the whole staff ready, even Kevin Tapani, who pitched on Thursday night.
Shortstop Gagne has to go to first, and he got it. Now Atlanta is left 5, and they still trail 2-0. Bat in the 4th, leading 2-0. Major League Baseball International providing coverage of the World Series in 5 languages: English, Spanish, Dutch, Japanese, and Italian to 74 countries. Total viewership expected to exceed 50 million. First time live to Australia. Shane Mack had a 2-out RBI in the 1st. Hits it deep to right. Justice won't get it. Mack is 2 for 2.
Shane Mack hitless in 15 at-bats, singled his first time up to drive in a run in the 1st inning, and I guess he thinks it's time for a curtain call. A double off the curtain in right field for Shane Mack to lead off the 4th.
And it's the first time in the game the Twins have put their leadoff man on, and Scott Leyes will want to move him along or drive him home. On the corner. In the right field corner, Jim Clancy warms up. That's 5 hits off of Steve Avery. Got the bloop single to left his first time. Tried to bunt him over.
I don't know about the wisdom of that play. Not with the problems that Ken Hrbek has had driving in runners from scoring position. Leyes a hot hitter. Hrbek 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. And it takes you back to that game in Atlanta on Tuesday night when Hrbek struck out twice. His last 2 times up with a runner at 3rd and less than 2 outs.
2-ball, 1-strike count to Leyes. Tom Kelly was remarking about Leyes, how good he looks with the bat, wasn't he, Jim?
Well, that's another reason you're not bunting in that situation. Why bunt when Tom Kelly, before the game started, said that Scott Leyes was a guy who has looked the best at the plate of anybody.
Hits it to third. This is going to be close. Got him by a step, and the runner has to stay.
This is a frustrating thing for an infielder. You can't climb up and get it. You have to wait until it comes down, and a nice, patient play by Terry Pendleton.
First out in the fourth, and here is Herbert. Pops it up. Hunter in left calls for it. Uh-oh!
Before this series started, we said that an outfielder can't take his eye off the ball. But Hunter right there looked down at Belliard. He took his eye off the ball. He lost the ball when he looked back up. And that's what we were talking about. An outfielder can't do that. Once you pick the ball off the bat, pick it up off the bat, you have to maintain eye contact. Watch Hunter coming in at right there. He looked down at Belliard and looked back up and lost the ball. That's what the dome roof will do, and it up and bit the Atlanta Braves on that play.
They give Hunter an error. Second and third, one out, infield in. And a strike to Junior Ortiz. Ortiz is not a big RBI man. Drove home 11 during the year. He could add to the 2-0 Twins lead in the fourth. Ortiz lined out to third his first time. Two quick ones on him. Infielders in. Pendleton, Belliard, Lemke, and Green. Not only did Hunter look down, he called Belliard off the ball. You could see him saying, "I've got it." Strike three. Big strikeout for Avery. Only his second of the game. Second out of the inning.
Junior Ortiz questioning the second and third pitch, saying that they were inside. They are awfully close. That's where you want to be with the count, no balls and 2 strikes. And a perfect pitch by Steve Avery to get a strikeout.
And Avery can keep it close if he gets Gagne. Infield back, second and third, 2 out. Two to nothing Twins in the fourth. Gets him. We've played 4. It's still 2-0. And the Twins have left 4.
At the Atlanta Braves, it didn't hurt them when Brian Hunter missed that fly ball, lost it in the top of the dome. You have to understand that the Braves didn't have a chance to work out here yesterday. There was a football game. The Wolverines of Michigan played the Minnesota Gophers last night. And for that reason, the Braves weren't allowed to work out. So it's still brand new as far as the dome roof's concerned.
Belliard, ball 1. We're underway in the 5th. 2-0 Twins. Atlanta has left 5. Had 2 hits, 2 walks, and a hit batsman. And they have hit 4 line drives that have been caught. Belliard struck out his first time. Scott Erickson has fanned 2, walked 2, allowed 2 hits. Great umpire getting a lot of help down there. That ball is fair, and a hit for Belliard. And it's the 3rd inning in a row that the Braves have put the leadoff man on base.
Watch Scott Leyes. You remember when Terry Pendleton had to wait for the ball to come down? Well, Scott Leyes couldn't afford the luxury of waiting for the ball. He jumps up, an off-balance throw, and Belliard has a hit.
Tim, you remember that 2-strike bunt by Belliard for a hit?
Maybe that's the reason that Leyes was in. That's a good point. Not taking it for granted that Belliard wasn't going to bunt.
Just like that, they go to work down in the Twins bullpen. Leach, the right-hander, and Guthrie, the left-hander. Smith, double play ball, maybe. Yep, only one, as Knobloch couldn't get the ball out of the glove. They botched that one up, Tim.
Yeah, that's a double play ball. It didn't look like Knobloch was playing close enough to second base. Usually a second baseman will cheat on a ball like that. Leyes, pretty good throw, and because of the hard sliding Belliard, Knobloch couldn't get the ball out of his glove. See, his footwork is messed up there a little bit, and he ended up catching the ball, it looked like with the fingertips. Lonnie Smith running hard, but a good takeout slide by Belliard, but that ball really should have been turned for a double play, but wasn't.
That didn't feel good, sliding over the base like that, 1 on, 1 out. Pendleton. Puckett chases it to the track. It might go. We're tied. Pendleton's 2nd home run of the series ties it in the 5th. That's what happens when you fail to make the double play.
Did Terry Pendleton ever put a charge into that one? Wow. A sinker on the inside part of the plate. Inside part of the plate, and it just sat there saying, hit me, baby. And Pendleton, did he ever? He crushed that ball way out of here.
Pendleton 6 out of his last 10. That's the 4th Atlanta hit, and it ties this game in the 5th inning. Now it's Gant, slowly to Gagne. For the 2nd out.
Jack, you talk so much, and we talk so much, and everybody in baseball talks so much about the routine plays. There are more games lost because routine plays are not executed routinely than the power hitters and the home runs. This was the double play ball to Leyes. Now watch Knobloch with Belliard sliding hard, but you've got to turn that double play, and Knobloch's inability to do that is the reason that this game is tied.
All started with an infield hit by Belliard. Here's a smash by Justice. Are the Braves going to take the lead? Foul. Everybody off the Atlanta bench. Justice thought it was a home run. And the right field umpire made the call. No doubt it was far enough.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was above the foul pole. It's a funny thing about baseball, the foul pole's in fair territory. They'll call it a foul pole or a fair pole, way up the ladder, and it's above the foul pole. And it was a tough call for Rick Reed, the right field umpire.
And now up and in, and a long look out at the mound by David Justice. Justice stands close to the plate. There's Rick Reed, who made the call in right field. Justice thought it was. Wrong, David. 2 balls and a strike.
David was looking back at the home plate umpire. No help there. Got to keep running to the right field umpire. He's the one who made the call.
We have a 2-2 game in the 5th. 2 out. 3-1. Knobloch from short right field ends the inning. 2 runs, 2 hits for Atlanta. Home half of the 5th coming up. It's 2-2.
Pardon the imaginary crooked foul pole above that. See the ball right in the middle of the circle? It comes down and lands just to the right of the facing, right there in the upper part of your screen. It was about a foot foul.
Here is Gladden leading it off. 3 people chasing the foul ball, and Justice came close. As we start the home half of the 5th with Gladden at the plate.
David Justice came close to a home run, and now he comes close to catching a ball in right field. About the same distance that the ball was foul that he hit. It's a weird game so far.
Well, his teammates have put Steve Avery back in there. 2-2. Notably the home run by Pendleton. Following an infield hit and a botched double play ball. Strike 2 to Gladden, who is 0 for 2. Gladden, Knobloch, and Puckett. Stays 1 and 2. 55,000 plus at the Metrodome in the Twin Cities. And the Twins got 2 in the 1st, and Atlanta tied it in the top of the 5th. If Atlanta can win this game, it'll end the baseball season. Twins are trying to force a 7th game here tomorrow night.
Yeah, for the Twins, it's do or die. For the Braves, it's do or do again.
Barry Pendleton's 2nd home run of the series has tied this contest. Two and 2. Atlanta pitching has kept Gladden rather quiet in this series. Kirby Puckett with a good defensive play. RBI triple, a run scored. 3 and 2 now. Steve Avery has fan 2, walked none, allowed 5 hits. Quite a battle here. This copyrighted telecast, presented by authority of Major League Baseball, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of Major League Baseball. First walk by Steve Avery. Well, tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern, the NFL Today, Greg, Terry, Leslie, and Pat, the latest NFL news. And when are fans guilty of unsportsmanlike conduct? Leslie talks with Sammy Smith of the Dolphins. He was devastated by the crowd reaction to his fumble. And then halfway through the season, Terry Bradshaw unveils his NFL power rankings tomorrow on the NFL Today, the last word before kickoff. Terry's taking over. He's changing the rules, and ranking the teams.
The Atlanta Braves unveiled their power rankings. The top half of this inning with a two-run homer by Terry Pendleton to tie it.
This bullpen ball got loose down in the right field corner. There goes the runner. Olson's throw is too late.
Dan Gladden with an excellent jump at first base. And Greg Olson's throw a short hop. Had that ball been in the air, it might have a chance to get him, but watch the little short hop on Belliard. The short hop causes the infielder to come up with the ball, and Gladden is in there.
And the count, ball one to Chuck Knobloch. 1 for 2. Minnesota wasted a leadoff double in the 4th inning. Ball 2.
And the reason Tom Kelly's not bunting with Knobloch, number one, it's 2 balls and no strikes, 1-0. Knobloch with good power the other way, hits a lot of balls the other way. Jim Clancy and Kent Merker now warming up for the Braves. But this is not a bunt situation. You don't want to sacrifice one of your better hitters to get the runner over. You would rather have him get him in.
Bobby Cox, Jim Beecham, the coach to his right, and to the left, Leo Mazzoni, the pitching coach. Tom Kelly trying to regain the lead here in the 5th. Ball 3. Avery walked Gladden. He stole second. 3-0 to Knobloch. Right after Steve Avery's teammate, Terry Pendleton, hit the home run and tied it. Steve walked the leadoff man, Gladden. He swiped second. He's working on Knobloch, 3-1. 3-2. Kirby Puckett waits to bat next. That's going out of play as Justice chases over. Clancy, the right-hander, Merker, the left-hander, cranking it up for the visitors. for Justice, and he catches it. The runner advances to third with one out. So Knobloch did his job.
Two reasons he hit the ball the other way. That looks like his natural stroke the other way, and Avery's fastball is tough to catch up to. But a good job and a good at-bat by Chuck Knobloch. Gladden to third easily.
The infield comes in. Gladden at third, one out. Pendleton, Belliard, Lemke, and Sid Bream playing in tight. Puckett has tripled, driven in a run, scored a run, and struck out. That'll get him home. Well, this time the Twins executed, Tim.
Had the right man up there, and Kirby Puckett, he had been silent until tonight. Only 3 for 18 in the series coming into tonight. He tripled in a run in the first inning and now drives in his second with a sacrifice fly to deep center.
The Twins turn a walk into a run with a stolen base and 2 fly balls. 2 out, base is empty. 3-2 Twins in the 5th. Well, missed the bullseye there, but Kirby did the job. And Chili Davis is up 0 for 2. This crowd makes a noise, don't they?
No place for the noise to go.
They cheer and they groan and they yell, and they're into every pitch as they were down in Atlanta. It's been a wonderful series. Two quick ones. Strikeout total low for him. He struck out 2, walked 1. That takes care of 5 innings, but the Twins have regained the lead, 3-2. We'll return to the Metrodome after this message and a word from your local station.
I'm Paula Zahn.
And I'm Harry Smith. Tired of being a couch potato?
You may.
Cats did it after the World Series.
3-2 Minnesota. What an interesting inning and a contrast in these two pitchers. Steve Avery, that inning, came out firing about 96 miles an hour, threw a couple changeups in the mid-80s. That's Scott Erickson's fastball right now. His velocity is really down. I think this is a very critical inning for Minnesota.
It's the 6th inning, and it's Sid Bream leading off for the Braves, who trail by 1.
That's a very interesting point, Jim, and it might be the reason that Dan Gladden walked as the first hitter, that Avery was throwing the ball too hard and getting out of his rhythm.
Ball 2 to Breen, who lined out to left in the first with 2 on and then walked and was stranded in the 4th. Pops it up. Third baseman wants it. Green is 2 out of 18. Crowd quiet as the Braves bat in the 6th.
I get the feeling that regardless of what happens, if Erickson can be coaxed through this inning, he might be finished.
He's pitching to Hunter, who is lined out twice. Once to third, once to short.
Third time through the lineup. And the Braves, remember, have hit a lot of balls hard at people tonight.
Not this one. Second baseman Knobloch. He fended off the shortstop and made the grab.
Two heads are better than one unless you're catching pop flies.
In the Metrodome. So Erickson on his way to an easy inning. Guthrie, the left-hander, warming up for the Twins. Olson at the plate, and the pitch goes behind him.
It's a knee-jerk reaction to look at a pitcher when the ball goes behind you. You can almost see Greg Olson smiling. He looked out at Erickson. Erickson looked at his hand. Watch Olson. The ball just misses him. He looks out. Erickson looks at his hand. Watch Erickson. Watch him look down at his hand. Well, he did. Trust me.
There are 2 out. Goes right back with one on the corner. 1-1.
Erickson really uses his right pant leg, the dirt off the mound, like pitchers use a rosin bag to try to get a little grip. Very warm down on the field. You perspire, and that goes right to the fingertips.
Nothing shaking for the Braves in the 6th inning. They trail by a run. They've had men on base in every inning till now, but not this inning. That's the first time they've gone down in order. Home half of the 6th, and the Twins lead it 3-2. Carl Willis has been warming up in the bullpen for the Twins. Well, Shane Mack came to life tonight. Had been 0 for 15, single homer run with 2 out in the 1st, double in the 4th. Out of play. We're underway in the bottom of the 6th. And a 3-2 Minnesota lead. For the 3rd time tonight, the bullpen gets ready. Mark Wohlers this time for the Braves out in right field. One ball, 2 strikes.
It's a funny thing about Scott Erickson. The only person who can talk to him between innings is Junior Ortiz, his catcher. Everybody else leaves him alone. His own space.
Well, they challenged him to do the job tonight. He's done it so far. Slow roller, the pitcher has to cover. 1 out here as Mack is retired for the first time. Let's show you what's transpired thus far in this game. Kirby Puckett with an RBI triple in the 1st. With 2 outs, Shane Mack singled him home. And in the 5th inning, a base hit by Belliard, a missed double play by the Twins, and a home run by Pendleton. Gladden walked, stole a base, and 2 fly balls sent him home, with Puckett getting another RBI. Scott Leas 1 for 2.
Big thing about Minnesota tonight, their outfield has contributed mightily. Kirby Puckett with a triple, a sacrifice fly, 2 RBIs, a great catch. Shane Mack 2 for 3 with an RBI. Dan Gladden a walk, stolen base, and scored the go-ahead run.
Hit for Leas. That's his second. Gant gets it back. One on, one out. Here's another chance for Hrbek. He's 0 for 2 and 3 out of 21. And that's what he was, 3 out of 21 against Toronto. But at any moment he could pop one. Glad nobody is here trying to learn English. Play will go to second. Back to first. 3-6-3 ends the 6th inning. And a 1-run Minnesota lead. 3-2.
The ultimate in sight and sound. And by McDonald's, getting more for your money. That's McDonald's today.
Another look at that double play that ended the 6th inning. Fine throw by Sid Bream, but watch Scott Leyes sliding inside the line. Remember, a base runner's got to be able to tag the bag with the slide. A hard slide, and Leyes could have been called out for interference there.
Well, the Braves fans say leave it to Lemke. He leads off and corks it just foul outside first base. Well, where do we stand in this one? Are we 3 outs away from a 7th game, or 3 innings away, or are we 3 innings away from ending the baseball season? Lemke 1 for 2. Strike 2. A pinch hitter, Tommy Gregg, will come up for Belliard. That's the difference between the American and National League. The Braves can keep Avery in the game. Erickson made certain he wasted one there.
We said that it might be Erickson's last inning in the 6th, but he economized his pitches. He got 3 easy outs, 3 up, 3 down. He's now thrown 106 pitches, and Mark Guthrie is up rapidly. The minute Gregg got up, Guthrie got up.
2-2. Lemke with 8 hits in this series. Trying to start a 7th inning uprising for the Braves. He gets another hit. Isn't he something? His 2nd of the night. His 9th of the series, and that's tops of both clubs, and he's 8 out of his last 12. Well, I feel sorry for anybody who learns to enjoy the game of baseball from the box seats. This is the way to learn. Get a hot pretzel or a hot dog and look in on the mystery of baseball. Learn it from afar so that when you get close to the action, you'll appreciate it totally. Tom Kelly comes out. He has the bullpen primed. That Lemke is something, isn't he? He has made his move, and he is going to bring in the left-hander,
Guthrie. Worked 6+ innings, giving up 5 hits. He walked 2, struck out 2, 2 earned runs, coming on the home run by Terry Pendleton, driving in Lonnie Smith. Mark Guthrie will be the new pitcher, one of only 2 left-handers in the Minnesota Twins bullpen.
And Terry Leach cranks it up.
Interesting that it's Terry Leach and not Carl Willis. This is Willis territory. He was up the previous inning, and I think with all the innings he's worked lately and ineffectively, maybe Tom Kelly is electing not to use him in his usual spot tonight.
Jeff Blauser is 0 for 5 in postseason play. And Guthrie comes in firing strikes. Tying run at first. Nobody out in the 7th as the Twins lead 3-2. Lemke with his 9th hit of the World Series. 2 for 3 tonight. Strike 2.
Might add that Tommy Gregg was announced, so he is out of the game. And that's what Tom Kelly wanted to do, along with having Guthrie get Blauser out. He wanted for the Atlanta Braves to waste a player in the process. So Gregg is gone, and Blauser will be the new shortstop.
Blauser is backed up. And he fails to move Lemke off first.
Three pitches and a strikeout. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night to Blauser. The slider that dives out of the strike zone. And Jeff a strikeout victim.
Guthrie stays in to pitch to Lonnie Smith. He's 0 for 2 with a run scored. And hit by pitch. There goes the runner down to second. Most likely a wild pitch. There's the tying run. It is a wild pitch.
Junior Ortiz didn't stay down on the ball. When he came up, the body acted as for better use of a better word, a jettisoning agent. That ball just fired off to the right. What you try to do is stay down on your knees, cushion the ball, and keep it out in front. Ortiz didn't do that.
Lonnie showed a bunt and took ball 2. He's not bunting with that man at second.
That's a bad play right there. You're in an offensive situation. Why would you want to bunt the runner to third base? In effect, leaving it up to the next guy.
There's already one out. He's trying to get Leyes in at third. There's a strike. Lonnie has hit home runs in the last 3 World Series games. He is the 5th to do that in one World Series. Lou Gehrig, Johnny Mize, Hank Bauer, Reggie Jackson. Bobby Cox didn't like that last call.
So Lonnie, the first non-Yankee to do that. 3 consecutive games in which he's homered.
He's still doing it. 3-1.
Here's that list with Gehrig, Mize, Bauer, all Yankees. Reggie Jackson in '77. Lonnie Smith, the first non-Yankee to homer in 3 consecutive games.
Lemke at second, tying run, 1 out, 7th inning. That ball's foul, 3-2. Couple of pitchers in the bullpen now. We have Willis and Leach. Guthrie in relief of Scott Erickson. Got his first opponent, 3-2 to Lonnie Smith. Foul ball chased by Ortiz and nothing doing. Another chance for Lonnie Smith. If he doesn't do it, it'll be up to Pendleton. The home runs by Lonnie Smith each came with the bases empty. Pendleton will be next. Leadoff single by Lemke. Advanced on a wild pitch. And that puts 2 men on with 1 out. That's the 3rd walk given to Atlanta tonight.
Good play by Ortiz to prevent Lemke from going to 3rd base. He really got down and smothered that breaking ball in the dirt. That's a good play right there.
Well, single and a walk in the inning. Lemke down at 2nd. Lonnie Smith at 1st. 1 out. 1-run lead for the Twins in the 7th, and Pendleton, who's had 2 hits, is up. And ball, strike 1. Pendleton singled in the 1st. Reached on a fielder's choice and popped a 2-run homer in the 5th.
Mark Guthrie's best pitches are sliders out of the strike zone. So the Braves will try to make him get the ball up before swinging.
He's really keeping that ball down, 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 giving Ortiz a tough job to do behind the plate.
That's right. If your best pitches are sliders out of the strike zone down, well, then there's always a chance of the wild pitch. Guthrie's thrown 1 in this inning. And as you said, Jack, it puts an awful lot of pressure on the catcher.
And it's up to Knobloch. Bases loaded. Guthrie couldn't get it. Herbeck decided not to try for it. And an infield hit for Pendleton, his 3rd of the night, loads the bases for the big Atlanta hitter, Ron Gant.
The reason that Guthrie couldn't make the play is that Guthrie's falling toward 3rd base. His follow-through takes him toward 3rd. The ball off the end of the bat. Knobloch was cheating at 2nd base for the double play, and Pendleton couldn't have drawn the ball in an area where nobody could get to it. Herbeck couldn't get to it. Guthrie's move made it so that he couldn't get to it, and Knobloch, cheating at 2nd base, couldn't get to it. An infield hit for Terry Pendleton.
And another Terry. Leach comes in, bases loaded, 1 out. It's Carl Willis into the game, and what a tough situation he inherits. Bases loaded, 1 out, as he follows Erickson and Guthrie to the mound. And Ron Gant will be the batter. They put on their rally caps in the Atlanta dugout. Bases loaded, 1 out. Lemke started all of this with a base hit, then a wild pitch, then a walk, then an infield hit. And Gant is 0 for 3, and they play him to pull. Ball 1.
I don't think I have ever seen a right fielder. Now he's moving back to the position. Shane Mack was way, way, way over towards center field. And now Tom Kelly saw that and moved him back to his position, which is about straightaway right field.
The World Series might be on the line right here. 1 ball, 1 strike. (3-2) Twins, 7th inning. Bases loaded, Atlanta, 1 out. Carl Willis. Ron Gant. To deep short. Tying run scores. Lemke crosses the plate to make it 3-3. The run charged to Erickson.
That ball was not hit hard. I didn't think that Gagne and Knobloch could turn it in time, and Gant just beats it. Gant, with a good jump out of the box, just beats the play. I didn't think the ball was hit hard enough for a double play, but a perfect relay by Gagne and a good turn and pivot by Knobloch, and Gant just beat it at first base.
I bet Tom Kelly's saying what an inning this has been. A walk, a wild pitch, an infield hit by Pendleton, and a ball hit too slowly to get a double play. Justice, first and third, 2 out. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. 3-3 game. Ronnie Smith is at third. Ron Gant at first. Strike 2 on Justice. If Willis can get out of this with only 1 run scoring, he will have done a job.
Especially facing Gant and Justice. Slight possibility of the runners running here with a count 0-2 to Justice. See what Bobby Cox has Smith and Gant do.
That's what Willis was thinking. Willis is always pawing around with their bare hand going to his neck. Some people think he loads it up. 1-2. Goes to his mouth, goes to his neck. Well, if he loads him up, now's the time to do it. First and third, 2 out, 3-3 game, 7th inning. Two and two. There's Greg Olson sweating this one out. 2-2 to Justice, 2 on, 2 out. One run on 2 hits. The Braves have left 7, and we are tied.
Old Spice deodorant kills odor-causing bacteria on contact 99%. This overpowering pitcher has registered 10 or more strikeouts 200 times and has 300 wins. Can you name him? Has more than 5,500 strikeouts and 7 no-hitters. The Ryan Express goes on.
The noise factor, look at Rick Stelmasic, the bullpen coach, with his foot on the telephone. He can't hear it, so he listens for the vibration when it rings.
Good thing he doesn't have an answering machine down there.
We have a pinch hitter. Brian Harper will bat for Junior Ortiz, and a new pitcher, Mike Stanton. Ball 1 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Ortiz had been 0 for 2. And Harper is the batter. He's had a good series. Out of play, 1-1. He is 6 out of 15 with 1 RBI. Mike Stanton is the hurler. And the new shortstop is Jeff Blauser. That ball is foul, and it's 1-2. Avery pitched 6 innings, 3 runs, 6 hits, struck out 3, walked 1. So he's through for the year. What a year he's had. And those 2 1-0 shutouts over the Pirates. And 2. Here's a word from Jim Cott.
Oh, we talked about the noise factor back in 1987. You get a look at some of the readings. It got up to 125 decibels. But even with all the noise this year, it's reached about 112 tonight, 117 in game 2. That's tops.
Harper, a strikeout victim to start the 7th, and Stanton gets off on the right foot. is up. He's grounded out twice. Out of play. Bobby Cox, the manager of the Braves, told us it doesn't matter whether Stanton's pitching to left-handed pitchers, batters, or right-handed batters. His stuff is good enough to get both of them out.
Equally effective primarily because of that slider. He struck Harper out on that disappearing slider. He grips it very tightly. That was it right there. A hitter thinks it's going to be a strike. It is high enough to swing at when he swings at it, and then it just disappears. The bottom falls out of it. Tightly wrapped slider to right-handed batters.
And gets it back in with one out as Gagne gets his first hit.
Good hitting by Gagne. He didn't try to pull the fastball away. He shoots it to right field. I am not sure that Mark Lemke saw that ball initially.
I was going to say the same thing.
It was a late jump by Lemke. Well, you've got, 50,000 handkerchiefs in here. They're white. The roof of the dome is white.
And the go-ahead run is on with one out in the 7th for the Twins. Gladden walked, stole a base, scored a run in the 5th. Stanton can pick him off. Be a spot for a hit and run for the Twins, who are tied 3-3 in the 7th. Ball one. Stanton picks off a few, but he allowed 9 steals and 10 tries this year. So they either read them or they don't.
On a hit and run, you're not going to steal the base. It's the responsibility of the hitter to put the ball in play. So if you're the runner at first base, you've got to make sure the pitcher pitches.
Meanwhile, ball 2 to the batter. One on, one out, 2-0.
Managers like to hit and run on 2-0. I don't think a 2-0 count is a good hit and run situation. I think a hitter is in a good position to choose a pitch, a little imaginary box out in front of home plate. If it's not in it, then take it.
Ball 3. Compiled that good postseason average with men on base earlier. He hasn't driven in a run in this series. Maybe a double play. Got one, got them both. And that ends the inning. After 7, we're tied 3-3.
George Brett is a great hitter with a big heart, keeping a promise to fight amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, the disease that took the life of his close friend, Keith Worthington. Brett has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for ALS. Toyota is proud to contribute $1,000 to the Keith Worthington chapter of the ALS Association. Toyota salutes all-around champions.
Summary is sponsored by Budweiser.
After the Twins got 2 in the first, Pendleton's home run tied it in the 5th. Puckett put the Twins on top, and then Lemke got a hit. Here's the home run by Pendleton, smashed it to center. A timely blow for the Braves, and Pendleton has 3 hits tonight. Lemke scored that tying run in the 7th after getting his 2nd hit of the night. On the Atlanta bench, they put those rally caps on. Mark Grant there in the foreground is the ringleader of that group. He tells them which way to form the caps and how to go about trying to win the game. We are going into the 8th inning. Sid Bream leads it off against Carl Willis. Willis did good work in the 7th inning. Bases loaded, 1 out. He got out of it with only the tying run scoring. Charge to Erickson, the starter. Bream is 0 for 2 with a walk. A threat. 1-1. Watch batting practice in this Metrodome. These left-handed batters pump them out of here regularly.
They love to hit here. Only 327 down the line.
1 ball, 2 strikes. How tight can it get? Here are the Braves leading 3 games to 2 in this series, carrying a 3-3 tie into the 8th inning. Minnesota has never lost here in the Dome, the Metrodome, in World Series play. Count goes to 2-2. They've won all 6 that they have played here. 4 from the Cardinals in '87. Won the first 2 games of the '91 series, and they're back home tonight. Tough to beat them here. Still 2-2.
The last game that they lost at home here in Minnesota, they lost to Sandy Koufax. The 7th game of the 1965 World Series. Jim Cott, the starting pitcher in that game.
That was out in Bloomington. Right now we're in downtown Minneapolis. What do you remember about that 65 action, Mr. Cott?
Well, I remember Lou Johnson hitting a home run early, and that was the deciding factor with Koufax on the mound, and you almost get the feeling in this one that that's what's going to decide it. Somebody's going to hit a long one.
Might be Bream. 3-2. Harper doing the catching after pinch hitting. Erickson tucked in the corner. Green to center for Puckett. 1 out. 3 in a row retired by Carl Willis.
Willis getting through the major threats in Gant, Justice, and Bream.
He's got another up here now in Hunter, who hit the home run off Willis in the 8th inning down in Georgia. And that 14-5 blowout. And Willis, of course, remembers that, and so does the batter.
It's not that a pitcher pitches entirely outside in the late innings, but if you make a mistake away, it's a base hit. If you make a mistake inside, it's a home run.
1 ball, 1 strike.
So Willis keeping the ball away. He kept the ball away from Justice. He kept the ball away from Gant. He kept the ball away from Bream, and the first 2 pitches away from Hunter.
2 balls and a strike. Hunter 0 for 3. Hit the ball well a couple of times. That's in play for Herbeck. Foul ball. Two out. We're at the Metrodome in the Twin Cities. And we're in the top of the 8th of Game 6 of the 1991 World Series. Atlanta leading 3-2, and the score is tied. And there are 2 outs in the top of the 8th, and Olson the batter. 0 for 3. Willis 4 in a row. It's a hit. As Tim McCarver said, every pitch seems to be away from these batters. That sends us tied into the bottom of the 8th. Well, it doesn't get any tighter than this. 3-3 into the bottom of the 8th inning. And the ace in the bullpen, Rick Aguilera, starts to crank it up for the Twins. Across the way, the best in recent times for Atlanta. Alejandro Pena getting ready. Meanwhile, the Braves have a good pitcher on the mound. And Mike Stanton, he worked the 7th. And he's got his work cut out for him, with the 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up for the home team. Starting with Knobloch, 1 for 3. And a strike. Knobloch helped the Twins score their 3rd run in the 5th inning. They scored a run without a hit. A walk, stolen base, fly ball by this batter, and a sacrifice fly by Puckett. Atlanta tied it in the 7th, and here we are. Knobloch hit only 1 home run this season, so he's not even thinking long ball. He is in the hole, 1 and 2. Pops it up, and it's called for by Blauser, and there's 1 out.
This is Game 6. Where were you for Game 6 16 years ago?
There have been numerous heroics tonight, both sides. The 1-0 delivery to Fisk. He swings, long drive, left field. If it stays there, it's gone. Home run! The Red Sox win! And the series is tied 3 games apiece.
And Jim Kotz suggests that the same thing could happen here. He said it's shaping up that way. Strike 1 to Puckett.
And if you're thinking the call of that home run is familiar, that was Dick Stockton doing 1 inning, and what an inning it was. Dick was a broadcaster for the Boston Red Sox that year, working 1 inning of the World Series game, and that happened. How about that?
1 and 1. And then Dick Stockton worked with Jim Kott during the regular season this year. One and 1 to Puckett. What a swing, 1 and 2. Bob Dekas and Bob Fishman rounded out that group that headed up the other CBS team.
Come on!
Be the Kirby Puckett fan. Right here, they say. Stanton has other ideas with one out. Looked like it set up there a little bit, didn't it, Tim?
Didn't have the bite that most of his sliders have. When you get ahead of Kirby Puckett, the best place to pitch him is out of the strike zone. Kirby's up there hacking. He does not walk a lot.
He's driven in 2 of the Minnesota 3. 2-2. There's Steve Avery. He can't win or lose tonight. He worked 6 innings. Every pitch a trip at this stage. Base hit to right with 1 out.
A slider in the strike zone, and Puckett rifles one to right field. I think what Bobby Cox is thinking right now with the switch hitting Chili Davis up there, you leave the left-hander in and don't bring Pena in, because if you bring the right-handed Pena in, you switch Chili Davis around to the left side, and you've got the hole open on the right side. I think that's why Stanton's still in the game.
And you give Puckett a better chance to run. 1 on, 1 out. Chili is 0 for 3. Stanton can pump it by these hitters. Well, we saw Avery a while ago. A lot of people thought, Tim, that Atlanta would wrap it up tonight, saying Avery will beat him. Well, Avery didn't. Nope. It's up to Stanton. Say Chili is a breaking ball hitter.
Yeah, and Stanton doesn't throw a breaking ball. I mean, his breaking ball is his slider, but all sliders for the most part are hard. Doesn't mean Chili can't hit the fastball. It just means his strength lies with off-speed stuff.
Puckett's second hit of the night has him perched at first. Out of play, and it's still 0-2. The tension, she is mounting. Coaching at third for the Twins. Puckett running at first with 1 out. Chili Davis in the hole, 1-2.
Fastballs from Mike Stanton to Chili Davis.
Braves pulled off a double play in the 7th. Breaking ball here. 2-2. You said baseball is a relaxed game. And a relaxing game.
Mike Stanton does not have a good move to first base. That's just to keep Puckett close. I don't think Puckett will be running with Chili Davis up there unless the count goes to 3-2. Then he'll be off.
Now it's 3-2 with one out. In a 3-3 game in the bottom of the 8th. Puckett's going. Into center for Gant. 2 out. And Puckett back to first. Tom Kelly giving signs. Gardner.
I think Puckett will run earlier in the count now. You've already cleared Davis. He was staying at first to give Davis a chance to hit and maybe move him around or go for the long ball. I think he'll run early in the count in this sequence.
Shane Mack is looking for his 3rd hit. He had a 2-out RBI single in the 1st. A wasted leadoff double in the 4th. He's 2 for 3. Swing evens the count. Nothing timid about that swing. Two and one.
Puckett wanted to go on that last pitch. He was feeling his way off the base. He could be off a little bit more, take a little bit better lead, and maybe have 1 foot on the rug. His lead is, speaking of timid, his lead is timid.
We're back on the bench, watching, hoping. Puckett stole 11 during the year, was thrown out 5 times. He's there with 2 out. There he goes. And he got it.
You have to take a risk, and I think the risk that Puckett took was that the minute Stanton picked the foot up, he took off. Watch the foot go up, and Puckett, with a terrific jump, he was gone. Taking a chance that Stanton wasn't going to throw to first base. The big high leg kick allows Puckett to be in at second.
Blauser taking the throw. Puckett at second, 2 out. 3-3 game. Bottom of the 8th. The count has gone to 2-2 on Shane Mack. Stays the same. Mack came into this game 0 for 15. He's 2 for 3. Into left. Hunter sends us into the 9th inning, still tied 3 apiece. Minnesota's left 5. And out hit 8-6. Two. One loss and the Twins are out of it. One win and the Braves are the champions. And a base hit for Blauser with 1 out. Blauser gets his first hit of the night.
And his first hit of the series. Matter of fact, his first hit in postseason play as Jeff hits one hard up the middle. So he's the 1-out base runner here in the 9th inning.
1 on, 1 out for Lonnie Smith. Grounded out, hit by a pitch. Fielder's choice, scored, and he walked. 0 for 2. He was thinking with that swing, strike 1. Smith has driven in runs only with home runs as Rick Aguilera jumps to his feet. 1 on, 1 out, 9th inning.
What Jim Cott was talking about, that Aguilera wouldn't be called in unless the Twins were in trouble.
Harper came up ready to throw as Blauser bluffed a break off first.
Remember Harper's problems throwing the ball. He has not thrown out a runner during this World Series.
Blauser has average speed. Tied 3-3, top of the 9th. Blauser stole 5 during the season. He's thrown out 6 times. One on, 1 out. Ball deflected to Gagne. He gets 1 and a double play. Now the Twins could win it and tie it with a run in the 9th. Couldn't be any tighter, could it? Bottom of the 9th, the Twins have an opportunity to win it here and tie this series at 3 games apiece. They'll have to do it against a new pitcher, Alejandro Pena, who's been the best in the last couple of months for Atlanta. He follows Adrian Stanton to the mound. Stanton had 2 scoreless innings, 2 hits with a strikeout. And the pinch hitter is Mike Pagliarulo, batting for Scott Leyes.
Difference in strategy. Bobby Cox brings his #1 reliever into a tie game. And Tom Kelly withholds his reliever, Rick Aguilera, his #1 reliever.
Wanda Pagliarulo. He is 3 out of 7 with a home run and 2 runs batted in the series. Hit a dramatic home run against Toronto in the playoff. Strike 2 as Pena gets it on the count.
And a dramatic home run off John Smoltz in Game 4 in Atlanta that put the Twins up momentarily 2-1.
Herbeck will follow. And Harper.
That almost took Olson's glove off.
Almost dislocated his shoulder.
You talk about power. Watch this pitch. That's power. Olson needed a cesta to catch that one.
Pagliarulo, the leadoff hitter in the ninth. It stays 1-2. There's Leas, for whom Pagliarulo is batting. To start the 9th inning. Pena gets one tough left-handed batter.
Well, I mean, that is some blue heat right there.
And it jumped. Here's another threat coming up now for the Twins with 1 out. And Herbeck.
Pena will try to stay in that same spot to Herbeck. Up. Try to pitch Herbeck inside.
Like that, ball 1. Herbeck 3 for 22 in the series. Had a single the only time he faced Pena. That was in Game 3. He hit 20 home runs during the season. Had the home run in the series. Ball 2. Find a dozen guys biting their fingernails. Up the corner. Herbeck snaps his head back at the umpire.
A bit of a tail on the inside fastball. That's 3 times in a row that they've tried to come inside to Herbeck, and they finally hit with one on the corner. See if Herbeck opens up a little bit. When you're behind in the count, a hitter that you'd normally pitch inside, he's less jammable because he opens up a little bit more. We'll see if Herbeck does. We'll see if Pena comes back inside. Inside again. Nope, away.
2-2.
Change up.
In the dirt. Ball 3. Twins have left 5. Atlanta 7. 3-3 in the 9th. 1 out, 3-2 on the batter. Got him for the second out. Hrbek quarreling again with the plate umpire, Ed Montague.
That inside fastball with a 2-0 count set this pitch up. And that ball appeared to have a lot of the plate.
Now the batter, Brian Harper. Strike to him from Pena. Pena trying to send it into extra innings. The only way the Braves can win it. Harper to short to Blauser. He got him, and we go into the 10th inning. We're tied at 3 apiece in Game 6.
At 3, top of the 10th. Let's take another look at the pitch to Kent Hrbek. Very close to the corner. It just tails away, and then Greg Olson very alertly just tugs it back in a little bit to try to influence Ed Montague's call, but he has been calling the borderline pitches strikes all night. It's been a very, very consistent strike zone. Nothing unusual about that call.
There's Ed Montague, who's been working the plate. There's Kent Hrbek, who quarreled with him. And there's Pena, who pitched the perfect ninth with 2 strikeouts. And the new pitcher from Minnesota is Rick Aguilera. He lost that extra inning game, which was Game 3 of the series, played in Atlanta. There's Marvin Freeman. Are you listening down there, Marvin? There's Marvin Freeman with a headset. It's the first time since 1975 there have been 2 extra inning games in a World Series. Game 3 went to the Braves in 12 innings, 5-4. Think anybody's left the park, Tim?
No. In Game 3, in the bottom of the 12th inning, Mark Lemke drove in David Justice with the winning run.
Well, we have some good performers. Button heads here in the 10th inning with Rick Aguilera on the mound and Terry Pendleton to lead it off. Gant and Justice to follow in a 3-3 game. Pendleton has come to life with 3 hits tonight and 9 in the series. And a 2-run homer in the 5th that tied the game at that time. And then he helped the Braves tie it again in the 7th.
Ken Hrbek about even. Terry Pendleton is not a pull hitter. And down the third base line, Pagliarulo not guarding the line, in playing for the bunt. Terry Pendleton, a guy who uses all parts of the field in which to hit.
Up the middle. Base hit, a leadoff single here in the 10th. 4th hit of the night for Pendleton. Well, that shades of the performance he turned in during the regular season when he led the National League in hitting.
Jumping on the first pitch and not allowing Aguilera to get ahead so he can throw the split finger fastball. Pendleton rifles one up the middle. Knobloch can't get to it, and now you have an interesting situation. Do you bunt with Gant? If you do, they walk Justice.
So he's probably swinging, and Rod is 0 for 4. With no home runs in the series. Runner going. And a line drive, double play. Unassisted. Gagnon. Isn't that something?
What a manager tries to do is to get a hitter with a good pitch from the pitcher. Gant got a good pitch. He hits it a little on the end of the bat, and Terry Pendleton is out. Unassisted double play for the shortstop with a runner on first base.
The Braves have hit some line drives tonight. That's the 5th line drive caught that I have down on my score sheet.
And Bobby Cox consistent also. Ron Gann had no sacrifices before that at bat, and he still has none.
Ball one to Justice. Justice 0 for 3 with a walk.
Now you have a different situation with a pull hitter, and you see Herbeck on the line at first base to prevent the double, especially with 2 outs.
That misses for ball 2, and Chuck Knobloch is playing in the outfield again. There you see Knobloch, and he threw Justice out from that position in the 5th inning. Two balls and a strike. Justice has 2 World Series home runs. Well, Bobby Cox trying to get a little motion, started the runner Pendleton. Lots of things can happen when you start that runner. Some good, some bad. And it stays. Well, now it's 2-2. In that 12-inning game in Atlanta, Justice had a base hit and a stolen base against Aguilar. Batting with 2 out in the 10th. And they popped him up for Pagliarulo. Fair ball. Now Minnesota could win it again with 1 run.
In the Atlanta defense, it could be Jeff Blauser. Jeff still nursing that sore right elbow. He was hit on the elbow by a fungo bat swung by Pat Corrales in the League Championship Series.
Well, tomorrow is the NFL on CBS. It starts at 12:30 Eastern Time, and the early games feature the Bears at undefeated New Orleans, 49ers at Philadelphia, Rams at Atlanta, Green Bay at Tampa Bay. And the 4 o'clock Eastern Time games are Dallas versus Detroit and Minnesota, Phoenix. And it all starts with the NFL today. That's at 12:30 Eastern. Then the big question, will we have baseball tomorrow night? Who knows, who knows, who knows? Second inning of work for Alejandro Pena. He'll face Greg Gagne, 1 for 3. Twins have left 5 and hit into 2 double plays. Atlanta just wrapped into their second double play in the last 2 innings. Half swing, he held up. Gagne, Gladden, and Knobloch in the Twins' 10th. Retired the side in order in the 9th, striking out 2. Fans here treated as some game. There's Rick Aguilar, the pitcher of the moment for the Twins. Is ahead on the count.
Charlie Leibrandt, the starter in game 1, warming for the Braves now.
2-2. Pena can throw hard enough to get it past these hitters with that fastball. Pops it up to Lemke for the first out in the 10th. At the Metrodome, 55,000 plus taking in Game 6. The Twins have to win to prolong this World Series, and Atlanta would be the champions if they can get out of here with a victory tonight. We're tied 3-3. Gladden is up. He scored a run in the 5th. Pena with the Dodgers, then the Mets. One ball, one strike.
Pena relying almost exclusively on the fastball. The fastball got him there. He figures if they're going to beat me, they're going to have to catch up with that pitch. So far, they haven't.
And he's ahead on the count to Gladden. Gladden can run. The Twins would like to get him on with one out here in the 10th. Lemke for the second out. 5 in a row by Pena.
It's a real dilemma for both managers, especially Tom Kelly. How long do you stay with your closers when there's nothing to close? Both Pena and Aguilera locked in a tie ball game. I think Tom Kelly would be inclined to stay with Aguilera more than Cox would be to stay with Pena, because there's always tomorrow for the Braves. Exactly, but none if the Twins lose, of course.
Knobloch is 1 for 4. A first inning single, and he scored a run. Pena trying to send it into the 11th.
That's one thing as far as managing is concerned in the National League. With no designated hitter, the pitcher's slot would always be pinch hit for, so the problem is solved for you in the National League, not over here.
Blauser gets him and sends us into the 11th inning. Pena has retired 6 in a row. We're still tied 3-3. Game 6.
Tire Aguilera out. So Tom Kelly maybe couldn't use him tomorrow night. He has gone 3 innings this year 3 times. This is his 2nd inning of tonight.
He caught a break in the 10th when Pendleton singled, but Gant lined into a double play. Bream is up. Ball 1, and Bream is 0 for 3 with a walk and 2 out of 19. He hit 11 home runs this season. Drills it into the corner. He doesn't run very well. And the right fielder's got a chance and drives him back to first.
This ball hits so hard down the right field line that Shane Mack has a chance to make a play on it. And he makes a terrific play and a great throw to hold Bream to a single.
Bream said, I better not.
Not with that bad right knee, no.
Already he's been replaced by the pinch runner. Keith Mitchell is running the bases.
Mitchell will go to left field, and Brian Hunter will come in to play first base now.
Hunter is 0 for 4 with a bat. No sacrifice bunts this year. Runner going, and they got it.
One of the tough things in late innings is to pinch run for someone because you're not loose. Brian Harper catches Mitchell. That's the first caught stealing of the series for Harper, and it was a big one.
I should say. Well, here's Atlanta. They had a runner on with 1 out in the 9th and didn't run, and Lonnie Smith hit into a double play. They had the leadoff man on in the 10th, and they ran him and lined into a double play. They get the leadoff man on here in the 11th, out stealing, and 1-1 to Hunter.
Yeah, they've got to get the formula right. The quick tag applied by Knobloch. Mitchell clearly out, and Brian Harper clearly elated. All right.
Apparently that first pitch was a strike to Hunter. Now he's 0-2. That was a big play. Braves have now out-hit Minnesota 9-8. 1 out in the 11th.
Brian Hunter, the only rookie ever to hunt to homer in the League Championship Series and the World Series.
What a timely throw by Brian Harper. There's Sid Bream, who got the base hit, was lifted for the pinch runner. Rafael Belliard in the Atlanta locker room. He started the contest, had a base hit, lifted for a pinch hitter.
I said Hunter, the only player to homer in both the LCS and the World Series. He was the second player. Willie McGee did it back in 1982.
He was the other rookie. 0-2 to Brian Hunter. Not to overlook the work by Carl Willis. 2 2/3 innings. No runs and 1 hit. Came in with a bases loaded in the 7th. 1 out. The Braves got only 1 run. Harper chased away by Herbeck, and there are 2 out. Bobby Cox made a few moves here this evening, but they have backfired. Started a runner, lined into a double play. Tried to steal a base, couldn't do it. Olsen is up. He's 0 for 4. Popped him up. Fair ball. The inning is over. And again, Minnesota can win Game 6 with a little run.
At the Metrodome, Game 6 of the World Series in Minneapolis. Wow, 3-3 tie. Go to the bottom of the 11th. I need a little pine tar and rosin on my hands to hold on to the microphone. I don't think I've been through so many games in the World Series that have been this nerve-wracking, and we don't have anything at stake in it. We're just watching.
Yeah, but if an announcer goes to his mouth down there, it's an announcer's balk, right?
Yeah.
Here's the new pitcher for Atlanta, Charlie Leibrandt. This is his 2nd year with the Braves, and this is his first relief appearance. He takes over in the bottom of the 11th after Pena had 2 perfect innings with 2 strikeouts. If we have Game 7 tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern, the first pitch at 8:35. And the pitchers will be John Smoltz and Jack Morris, and who knows who the heck would win that game. Keith Mitchell was a pinch runner. Out stealing, takes over in left field where Hunter had been. Hunter comes in to play first base where Sid Bream had been playing. Leibrandt follows Avery, Stanton, and Pena to the mound. One of the big guys for the Twins leads it off in the 11th. Kirby Puckett, he's had a single, a triple, stolen base, run batted in, run scored. He'll be followed by Davis and then Mack. Leibrandt pops a strike in there.
Remember the circle change from Charlie Leibrandt, if you'll remember back to Game 1 of the World Series. And he's not about to go away from his strength right now.
One. There's Scott Erickson, who started this one. He pitched 6 and allowed all 3 Atlanta runs. So again, the bullpen of the Twins has reverted to form. They're stingy. Two balls and a strike.
Remember, we talked about the circle change, and that's how Charlie Leibrandt grips it. Index finger and the thumb touch, and they choke the ball. The hitter swings at the arm motion.
Into deep left center for Mitchell, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
We showed you the circle change the first time, and this was the second time. And as far as the Braves are concerned, Puckett parks it in another circle. The winner's circle.
It's the first time since 1987, that we'll have a 7th game of a World Series. The Twins win it, and they force Game 7. You want to hear from Kirby Puckett? He'll be with Pat O'Brien when we come back.
Want to trade?
Cities, the Minnesota Twins have forced a Game 7, and folks, 1 or 2 people may have left, but not many. This place is rocking. Kirby Puckett hits a home run to force a 7th game, and the Homer Hankies are still out. And the Chevrolet player of the game is Mr. Kirby Puckett. Chevrolet will donate $1,000 on his behalf to the Special Olympics, and Kirby is standing by right now with Jim Cott.
Thanks,
Jim?
Pat. It got to about 120 decibels. That's the highest it's been this year after that home run. How in the world, Kirby, do you wait on a changeup after seeing 90-mile-an-hour heat all night?
They've been throwing me a lot of changeups the whole series, Kitty. And I went up there in Chile. I've been facing Charlie Liebrandt, and I told myself to just make him get the ball up. I'm going to swing anything down. If he throw it down, he can have it. But I'm going to make him try to get the ball up and put a good swing on it.
You know, I know everybody's excited now, but is it draining or what playing in these games?
Like I've been in a 15-round fight. I swear, I'm so drained, I don't know what to do. But tomorrow, we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Well, Evander Holyfield's here. Maybe you'll get a match. Let's go back to Pat O'Brien.
Thank you. Congratulations to him. And before the game, Mr. Puckett said to somebody on our staff, you can count on me getting it done tonight. And in fact, he did. We're going to a 7th game. For now, we'll be back here at the Metrodome. The hearts are pounding, folks. After a message and a word from your local station. Stay with us. I haven't seen all of the moments, folks, but I have to believe that this is one of the biggest baseball moments in Kirby Puckett's life. He comes across after hitting a home run, puts his Minnesota Twins and his city, the Twin Cities, back into the World Series, into a Game 7. And Tommy Lasorda is up here catching our breaths together. And Tommy, what about that shot?
One of the most exciting games you'll ever want to see. Puckett was outstanding. 3 for 4, 3 RBIs, a sacrifice fly, tremendous effort. Liebrandt making his first relief appearance in 2 years. Unbelievable. What a great game. Tomorrow is going to be the ball of wax. We're going to see it tomorrow. Morris versus Smoltz. And I'll tell you one thing, you got to go with the guy with the experience. John Morris has done it before. And I'll tell you one thing, he's going to be tough. If he can get that split finger over, he will be real tough. On the other hand, Smoltz has been the hottest second-half pitcher in all of baseball. I think you're going to see an outstanding game again tomorrow.
Jack Morris, the wily veteran, said to us, we'll see you for a 7th game. You're a little excited about this, huh, Tommy?
I thought it was a great game. I'll tell you one thing. I said that there was going to go 7 ball games from the beginning.
All right, Tommy, you did say that. All right, Tommy, we'll see you tomorrow, Game 7. That does it for this Game 6. Wow. For all of us here at CBS Sports, I'm Pat O'Brien. Good night from the Twin Cities. Once again, our final score in 11 innings, the Minnesota Twins 4, the Atlanta Braves 3, and so it's come down to Game 7 tomorrow night. And join us again, and I'm sure if you can, you will, at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. It'll be John Smoltz for the Braves and Jack Morris for the Twins. And a reminder to turn your clocks back an hour tonight. Enjoy that extra hour's rest and start your day by 12:30 Eastern Time with the NFL Today, when Terry Bradshaw unveils his NFL Power Rankings. Then stay tuned for regional action. Most of you will see the Bears challenge the undefeated New Orleans Saints. In a 4 o'clock start, some of you will see the Cowboys invade the Lions Den.
CBS Sports coverage of Game 6 of the 1991 World Series is brought to you by Lexus and the new ES300 Sports Sedan. Dollar Rent-A-Car, right on the airport, right on the money, with over 1,300 worldwide locations. And by AT&T, the right choice.
You've been watching the World Series on CBS Sports, the home of baseball's biggest games. And the Minnesota Twins look to turn back the clock all the way to 1987. See you tomorrow.